one of my favorite bands of all time, Panic at the Disco, announced their breakup today. Brendon stated that he was having a baby with Sarah, which happy for them, but it's a sad day seeing one of my favorite bands break up, you know, and just kind of put an end to an amazing band who's had a nearly 20-year reign, you know, literally one of the greatest bands to ever exist on this earth. Man, I remember the first time I ever listened to Panic at the Disco. I was sitting in my friend's basement and we were playing Rock Band, and he was like, "Bro, yeah, check this song out, dude." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "It's called 9 in the Afternoon by Panic at the Disco." And I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "You'll love this guy's voice." We played it, instantly fell in love with that song and his voice. Brendon Urie's voice is so beautiful on that track. That was the first Panic song I personally remember listening to. And then I got into them, started listening to Miss Jackson, Victorious, you know, their newer stuff, you know. And then I found out they made I Rest Not Tragedies, and I was like, what? I've heard this song on the radio, you know. So it's kind of cool, the mix down there. And then Panic at the Disco dropped Death of a Bachelor. Now, as far as I can remember, this was the first CD I ever bought for myself. Not owned, but bought for myself. And it was Death of a Bachelor back in 2016 when this CD came out. I remember, like, begging my mom for it, and she was like, no, sorry, I'm not going to get it. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, so then I saved up all my money from scrubbing those dishes and changing the laundry, and I finally bought it. And to date, it's their best album. Hands down, it's a fun party album. I love it. Their best album for sure. Then, a couple years later, came this album called Pray for the Wicked, which is, well, apparently it's their weakest album until we get to Viva Las Vengeance. But this is definitely one of their weaker albums. But it still holds more nostalgia for me because this was kind of like another big release that they dropped here. Silver Lining and Say Amen. Dropped High Hopes, which became my favorite song of 2018 at the time, and my favorite Panic song at the time. It's changed now. I Write Sins Not Tragedies is my favorite song by them. But High Hopes is still a banger. I love Hey Look Ma, I Made It, Dancing's Not a Crime. This album is still beautiful. I was supposed to see them live on the Pray for the Wicked tour, and then nobody would take me because I didn't have a car back then, you know. So that would have been beautiful to see. But yeah, definitely a lot of nostalgia between Death of a Bachelor and Pray for the Wicked. Then, 4 years of nothing, we get Viva Las Vengeance by Panic at the Disco. Dropped this past year in 2022. Year I graduated, they dropped, actually like the day before I graduated, they dropped this album. And I finally got to see them live in Minneapolis with my family. It was a beautiful show. A weird set list, but I did love it. Brendon had so much energy on that stage, and the performance and everything. They played House of Memories, so that was awesome. Ended with High Hopes. It was overall a beautiful show, and I'm glad I got to see Brendon on his last tour, you know, before he goes away. Let's travel back in time now. We got their first album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Now, this album is their second best album, hands down. This album is so fun. One of the greatest freshman albums, one of their first album debut, you know. It's so good, so beautiful. This is true emo pop punk essential album right here. It's got the best song, I Write Sins Not Tragedies. It's truly an amazing album. Then we got Pretty Odd, which they totally exchanged. 3 years later, like, what if we made like a folk album? And then they made freaking Pretty Odd. You got fun songs like Passage de Cheville, Behind the Sea, Folkin' Around, Mad as Rabbits, and then you got like some serious songs like Northern Downpour, That Green Gentleman, 9 in the Afternoon. It's such a sad album, but yet has that fun like folk punk vibes that nobody expected they would go down. So I love it. So good. We also have Vices and Virtues, which was after that. This was after Ryan Ross left the band, and it was just down to Spencer and Brendon. And this album is so fun. Reminds me of like a steampunk kind of vibe. Really love it. Ballad of Mona Lisa has one of my favorite Brendon Urie songs on here. Always. His voice on that song is so beautiful. Love that track. Again, Sarah Smiles, Nearly Witches, Trade Mistakes. this whole album is a beautiful album too. And lastly here, we got Too Rare to Live, Too Rare to Die. This one is so fun. This is gospel, literally one of the hardest songs to go live. Miss Jackson, another nostalgic song. Vegas Lights, Girl That You Love, underrated classic there. Colorful is my favorite off this album. I love that song. Girls, Girls, Boys was insane live. If you ever got to see that live, it was a beautiful performance of it for sure. But yeah, I would say every Panic album is at least a 9 for me, except for Viva Las Vengeance, but that's because, you know, it's kind of, yeah, it's not the best album either. But every other album is at least an 8 or a 9 for me. I'm just going to be listening to Panic for, like, the whole, like, next 5 months because of how sad this day really is, dude. One of my favorite bands just going to an end. I just really hope that Brendon doesn't stop making music, though. Like, maybe he'll make, like, a solo song for, like, I don't know, like a musical or something like that, or a movie. You know, I'm just hoping he just doesn't stop making music, you know, and hopefully that just this Panic at the Disco era is done, and maybe he'll come out with, like, solo songs or something, you know. Family Man or something like that, you know. Yeah, congratulations again to him and Sarah for having this baby that's coming. I know he's always wanted one for a while, so it's kind of hard to say goodbye to this band who's just kept growing and growing over the years. And you know, a band is amazing when they hit their peak twice, you know, with their single I Write Sins Not Tragedies and their single High Hopes that even beat I Write Sins Not Tragedies. It's just so insane. He's an amazing guy. He's done so much charity and so much love for his fans. He appreciates everybody that listens to his music and loves him as much as he does. To you guys, yeah, it's a sad day. Again, one of my favorite bands going away. I just hope Brendon doesn't stop making music and we get to hear his lovely voice again. Or maybe he'll do some Twitch streams with some Panic demos. All I ask, Brendon, is for you to release Feels Like Christmas for on Spotify. Yep, and Apple Music, so we can listen to it for Christmas, you know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I just thought I could put this video out there. I love Panic. It's sad that they're gone. Thanks for watching.